Hello everyone. So today we are going to discuss about the biological neural network and artificial neural network. How the artificial neural network was developed. So from the biological neural network, the artificial neural network was developed. Okay. So what is biological neural network? See, it's nothing but a network refers of network of neurons and their connections in the brain and nerve system of living organism. So in our living organism, see, we are having the network of neurons, okay, and their connections between the brain and nerve systems. Okay, so that is called as biological neural network. So these networks form the foundation of how biological system process information, control bodily function, enable learning, memory and cognition and all. So this is the foundation of the biological neural network. Okay. So normally in biological neural network, so we have the parts called dendrites. Okay. So what is dendrites? It is nothing but a receiver. Say it's a branch. It's a many number of branch we are having. Many number of dendrites we are having. And this branch like extension that receives the signal from the other neuron. Okay. So the dendrites of our body normally act as a receiver. It will receive the information from other neuron. Okay. So it's one of the main point in dendrites. Second point is soma, or otherwise it is called as cell body. Okay. It is act as a collector. Okay. So it will be collect the information from the many dendrites. Okay. So it contains a nucleus and is the control center of the neuron. It is the main control center of the neuron. The function of soma is to sums the incoming signal. All the collected signals, it will be sums. Okay. So that is the function of the soma. Then for the axon, axon is nothing but a transmitter. Okay, to transmit the data from the one point to another point in our body. Okay. So normally axon is nothing but a long thin fiber tube that transmits signal to the other neurons through the dendrites. Okay, so for examples, in muscles. Okay, so simply axon acts as a transmitter. It transfers the signal from one neuron to another neuron. So through this synaptic cap and dendrites. Okay, so what is synapses? Finally, the fourth part is nothing but synapses. It's nothing but the connecting point between the neuron axon and another neuron, dendrites. Okay, that is called as synapses. It is nothing but a point between a neuron axon, connecting point between a neuron axon and another neuron, dendrites. Okay, so one that is called as synapses. In a single neuron has 1000 to 10,000 synapses and may be connected with 1000 neurons. So there are 100 billions of neurons in our brain. Each neuron has 1000 dendrites. Okay. So this is the concept of the biological neural network. Based on this concept of the biological neural network, this artificial neural network was developed. Okay. So what is an artificial neural network? It is nothing but an information processing system that has certain performance characteristics. Is common with biological neural network. Okay, so that is for receive the signal and sum all the signal. Okay, after some summation of all the signal, to transmit the signal. So certain characteristics is common with the biological neural network. Okay, so it is a computational model inspired by biological neural networks of the human brain. So the structure of artificial neural network is the information processing occurs at many simple elements called neuron. Signals are passed between a neurons over a connection link. Each connection link has an own associated weight. Each neuron applies an activation function to its net input to determine the output signal. So this is the process of the artificial neural network or structure of the artificial neural network. See this diagram. So this is the structure of the artificial neural network. So see here, this is x1, x2, x3 up to xn act as the input neuron. This all the new input neuron we called as input layer. Okay. So and then here y1, y2, y3 up to yk is act as a hidden layer. On the z1, z2, z3 up to zn act as a output layer. Okay. So this is called as multi-layer neural network. So more than 2 layer is there. So that's why it is called as multi-layer neural network. So here the input is given to the each neuron. Okay, so the x1 input is given to the x1 neuron, x2 input is given to the x2 neuron. Similarly, xn input is given to the xn neuron. Okay, so here the each neuron, input neuron is connected to the output neuron through this connection link. Okay, so this W11, W12, W13, W1K or 1M is that as a connection link. So this connection link, each connection link has its own associated weights that is represented by W. The weight that to represent by the W. Okay, for the input layer to hidden layer, the weight is represented by the W. Similarly, for the hidden layer to the output layer, the weight is represented in terms of another notation called V. Okay. So the input is given to the input neuron. So each neuron is connected to the output neurons. Okay. So here this output neuron, each output neuron, it will sum all the input signals. Okay. So and then transmit the input signals to the other neuron through the connection link. Okay. So here during the transmitting the all the summed signal to the another neuron. So you have to find out when this neuron is fire or does not fire. So based on the activation function. Okay. So this is the concept of the artificial neural network. Okay. So we have the input neuron. Okay. We have the hidden layer, hidden neuron. We have the output neurons. Okay. So all the input neuron is connected to the output neurons through the connection link. So each connection link have its own associated weights that is represented by the W. Okay. So then the output neuron, it will sum all the input signals and this summation of the signals you have to transfer to the another neurons through the connection link. Okay. So here more than 2 layer is there. So this artificial neural network is called as multi-layer artificial neural network. Okay. This is the basic concept of the artificial neural network. How this artificial neural network was developed from the biological neural network. Okay. Thank you.